This is Occult Pop, where we analyze popular culture through an occult lens. I am Guy Quintero, and this is my co-host,
Danica Simone.
Today we are talking about a very interesting show. I love the way that it displays demonic possession and demonic inhabitation. There's a lot of factors that are covered in this show and in the writing that people don't think about, and that we engage a lot as people who cleanse homes and help individuals overcome negativity and negative practices and the negative spiritual realm. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce it.
Okay. The show is evil. We teased it out in the last episode of the Veil Between podcast. So if you listen to that, hopefully you're here to tune in to this episode. So Evil ran from 2019 to 2024, originally aired on CBS, but then moved over to Paramount Plus. You can stream it currently on Paramount Plus and Netflix. So Evil is an American supernatural drama television series created by Robert and Michelle King. The premise of Evil is a skeptical forensic psychologist, Dr. Christian Bouchard, played by Katja Herbers.
Yeah, I think she's Dutch.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Catholic. Oh my gosh, I'm going to say this. I'm going to butcher it. Seminarian?
Close enough.
How do you say it?
Seminarian. Go ahead.
Oh, I said it right.
Yeah.
Okay. David Acosta, played by Mike Coulter.
Yeah, good actor. I like him a lot.
I love him. Yeah, he's great. And skeptical technology contractor Ben Shakir, played by Asif Manvi.
Mhm.
I hope I said that right.
Close enough, I think.
Are hired by the Catholic Church to investigate purported supernatural events. As time passes, the three find their personal lives increasingly intertwined with events and individuals behind incidences, including Dr. Leland Townsend, played by Michael Emerson.
He's an amazing actor. He is. He steals the show.
Yep, a rival forensic psychologist who seems obsessed with Kristen and her family. Can I just say that this show put Michael Emerson on the map for me? I never really had seen him, but he's been around since the 90s as an actor.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. He is such a good actor. His latest role is Fallout. And it's been so hard for me watching Fallout, especially the first season. Because the entire time I was just like, because I think we had just finished watching Evil, like the last season. I think it had just recently finished. And so it was still very fresh in my mind. And he comes up on Fallout and I'm just like, he's a bad guy.
Yeah. And then he's this doctor who's innocent and
I know.
kind. And yeah, he's like warning Lucy, be careful out there. I don't think you have what it takes to make it and to do what it takes to survive. And he just seems like such a sympathetic character, which lends credit to how good of an actor he really is. He's a great actor. Wow.
I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was just like, I know he's got something behind his back. I know he's going to double cross her.
Too, when I was watching it, I'm a big fan of Fallout. I was watching it and I was like, is he going to turn on her? Like, when does he turn on her? But he didn't. He was a good guy. So
yeah,
yeah,
such an amazing actor. I think he's probably my favorite actor in the show, Evil, just because of how hard that role must be. Like,
yeah.
Or maybe it's fun to play the bad guy. Sometimes it's just fun.
I think he's having fun when he plays the bad guy.
Yeah, to play something so outside of your norm, right? And just have fun with it. But so anyway,
very talented cast, but yeah. But the what really intrigued us in our line of work is the accuracy in which they tell the stories and accuracy in which they depict the demons. And they show the blurred lines. I think that's one of the biggest aspects of it, having to differentiate between demonic infestation, which leads into demonic possession, and mental illness, because the two blur and sometimes even cross over. But yeah, it was very well depicted. And the demons in this show, just another tangent about the show itself, the demons, there's no CGI.
Did we create a game where every time we go on a tangent, you take a shot? That would be fun.
I want everyone to stay sober for this, but the demons they're not CGI. They're actually prosthetics and actors, and it's so much talent went into making this show, and it's so impressive. So when you see these creatures, it hits a little different. My mind doesn't register CGI as a threat. It looks like a joke to me. It just looks like. But when I see these prosthetics, I'm like, whoa! It like registered. So I think those scenes for me hit really hard, especially because the actors did such a good job in conveying the inhuman aspects of the demons. But there are the blurred lines. That's one of the things that a lot of people in this line of work you have to anticipate, and I love that they covered it. It's not all just sometimes you see these other movies depicting possessions, demonic possessions, demonic infestations. They don't recognize the fact that it could also be mental health issues. Sometimes people are just paranoid, which we've had some customers who they were just nervous, paranoid, a little worried about maybe the house settling or, just expecting bad things to happen because they've been down and out for a minute, which is understandable. And we still cleanse it for them, but we let them know, hey, honestly, Simone didn't sense anything this round. Perhaps these entities are hiding. That's a possibility. But this round, we don't know for sure. And I love the fact that they cover both of those aspects in the show. There are supernatural events happening, but there's also just mental issues or nothing at all. It's just misconceptions.
Or hoaxes. So
Hoaxes, yeah.
Kristen and Ben, their characters, are non-believers.
Yeah.
Or they have their own beliefs, but they don't believe in angels and demons. They don't believe that these events that are happening, or that the people are claiming, like, oh, someone's possessed or something like that. They don't believe in any of that. So
Yeah.
they come at it, Kristen being the psychologist and Ben being like the techie guy who knows like computers and AI and, like you said, CGI. And so he comes at it and he's like, oh, this is a hoax.
Yeah.
This is a trick of the camera, editing. They find ways to reason it away. And I do like that they had those characters because that is how everyone thinks. We are trained and conditioned as adults to not believe in the unknown. Don't believe in the supernatural and monsters and demons. They're not real.
Yeah.
And if you think they are, you're crazy and you should be committed.
Yeah.
And I also find, like you said, blurred lines. I find it very interesting that the Monsignor who is giving them cases to look into, I think it was like within the first few episodes, he was like, asking for an update on one of the cases. David Acosta is making a report saying, well, no, it actually was not. He said it was not supernatural. It wasn't divine intervention or anything like that. But he handed over, he was like, but I do want you to see this. And he's like, well, what is this? And he goes, this is an anomaly that we can't explain. And they're thinking it's an angel
Yeah.
or the spirit of a person who like was recently deceased, I think. And they caught her likeness on a recording. And the Monsignor's like, oh, I don't care about that. Because he was like, what does this have to do with the case? What's the case? Is it true divine intervention? And he goes, no, it wasn't. It was something else we were able to reason away. And he goes, good, because
Yeah.
he clearly doesn't want
Those problems.
them to be true. So he clearly has Kristen and Ben there to debunk everything because
Yeah.
he doesn't want to acknowledge and recognize that these divine interventions, these things are happening, or these possessions are happening and whatnot. And then when he is faced with something that they can't reason away, there's no reasonable explanation for it. He's like, oh, well, it's unrelated to this case and we're not going to look at that. We're not going to even acknowledge it.
And sadly, that's happening a lot in the church. That's something that's real. Most of the church doesn't want to believe anymore. And I don't know if that's because they've been infiltrated, like we talked on our flagship show. They've been infiltrated by dark forces that are trying to, take their attention elsewhere instead of focusing on their mission, which is to help people deal with this war between good and evil. And Father Gabriel Amorth, whose work I study, he said, this was happening, that there was a cast of non-believers rising amongst in power within the church. And I'm wondering if they're non-believers. I'm wondering if they're just agents of darkness that are trying to steer away the attention of the church from demonic activity so that their buddies can operate in peace without being exercised. So that's something to think about. But the Monsignor in the show, I think he's not bad. He's a good guy. I think he's just scared. I think he's scared, and I think he doesn't want that stigma attached to the faith as well. I think that a lot of people are scared about being scrutinized by the government, outside sources, and the modern era has created that fear of just having faith and open faith and blind faith and talking about, biblical stories and the things that are in them, because the implications of it, if it's real, are maybe too difficult for some people to handle. I think that's ultimately what will lead down to that path, and you'll have people in a panic.
Well, and or another alternative is he has higher ups.
Yeah.
He is given orders and he has to carry them out. However, he is told to do that. So if the directive is debunk as many of these as possible, you know, listen, it doesn't matter how high up you are, everyone answers to somebody.
Yep. Everyone answers to somebody. It's very true. But it is, yeah, it is very interesting how many aspects of faith, the church, and the darkness that is covered in this show. Very well written.
Yeah. I want to talk specifically on the aspect of this show that Leland Townsend is just a normal human being. He's not possessed. I mean, there's other people in the show that are supposedly possessed, and you see demons and you see them working in corporate settings. They're like in an office setting and they're controlling crypto and they're controlling the banking systems and the stock markets and whatnot. But Leland is human. He is doing their bidding. And here's the thing, like we mentioned with the Epstein files, there are people who do the bidding of these evil entities because they are promised a certain lifestyle, you know? And here's the crazy thing. Try to wrap your mind around this, okay? Those people are actually way more scary than the demons. The reason why is because we can control demons. We can tell them they're not allowed here. We can also summon them if we wanted to. I don't recommend it. But they can't hurt you unless you allow them to. You have authority over them. So you have that will and that intent and that confidence, and you say, no, 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 that doesn't fly here because this house is a house of God.
Yes.
We worship God. We don't worship your deity. But what makes it scarier is that these people are trained on how to do psychic attacks. They have all the knowledge. They are taught all these things. They know how to attack you. They know how to manipulate you, get in your dreams, get in your nightmares, send psychic attacks. Like they can just focus their will and their energy on you, and they can project this negative energy that can result in you having an accident, falling down the stairs, or being in a car accident, anything like that, or suddenly getting sick, having cancer. And that's scary because how do you fight another human being who, like you, has free will? You have no authority over another human being. You can't banish them. You can't will them away. The only thing you can do is protect yourself, put up shields, put up barriers to lessen the impact. But other than that, you can't banish them away.
And
That's what
like,
makes it so scary.
yeah, and like in the show, Leland hides behind a lot of our civil pretenses. He
Yeah.
hides behind them. Oh, he's quick to call the police to help him out if someone corners him, and he uses evil spells and demonic networks, and he's really good at what he does. He really is.
He knows how to play the system.
He does knows he knows how to play the system very well to leverage it against innocent people. And that's what we see now in real life. A lot of these scumbags on the Epstein list, I doubt they'll see justice. I doubt they'll hide behind a wall of lawyers. They're hiding behind a legal system that's protecting them, that's allowing the injustice to escape. And that's one of the things that the show conveys. The Leland characters signifies that, symbolizes that. Evil, and like you said, they have terrestrial authority. They have a godly presence and authority, but they're evil. They choose to work for evil.
And the difference is, unlike us, the lay person, they've been trained to do harm.
To do harm. Yes.
And if you have not been trained on how to protect yourself, you are absolutely vulnerable to their attacks.
Yeah. This is why I firmly believe a lot of good people who try to out the system, if they can't get you with a hitman, suddenly they end up with cancer. Suddenly end up in a car accident. these are all signs of psychic attack. All of these are symptoms of psychic attack. Like they can kill you from the comfort of their own home, just setting up a ceremony or a ritual or anything like that and perform an attack on you. There's archaic names for them, hexes, curses. Psychic attack is all they are. It's just the mind causing a negative conformity into reality to one's will against another individual. That is the psychic attack in a nutshell. We see it in real life. It's the reflections of real life, and the show are just amazing.
Yeah. And if you happen to be a person of a certain level of influence to keep you in line, they will give you a handler. And you'll see famous people trying to break free. And all of a sudden, they're looked like they're crazy. They are put on like a psych hold. We're talking about Kanye.
They're fighting secret battles. Brittany, Kanye, a lot of them are fighting secret battles, dealing with demonic forces. And to us, it seems erratic and crazy, but their reality is facing something very dark and unwholesome. And my heart goes out to them. I know some people will look at them and say, how can you say that, guy? The truth is, I feel bad for them because when they realize what they've done and they want to go back, like Marilyn Manson says, it's a long, hard road out of hell. It really is.
Most of these famous people are indoctrinated at a very young age
Yeah.
when they don't know better. And part of our culture, especially lately, has been it's about immediate gratification.
Yep.
It's about you'll get money now, you'll get fame now, you'll get anything you could possibly want. You'll get it now. All you have to do is sign over your rest of eternity to me.
Yeah.
And being a child and not maturing and living through life, you just want the easy road now. You haven't had a chance to mature and be like, oh, okay, I can do this. I can do this on my own. I'm a smart person. I can figure it out. But then once they've been in it for decades and they get older and wiser and they're like, what did I do?
Yeah.
And they're trying to break free of it and they want to assert their free will. And once they do that, the handlers come out and they put them back in their place. And because they're like, we made you, we can ruin you.
And not only they got to deal with handlers, they got to deal with demonic networks, and the handlers report back to people who are much more darker and more powerful than the handlers themselves. But so going back to self-defense, that is one of the reasons why it's very important. And I firmly believe, and once again, a reflection of the show, just like the show, our faith, the Christian faith, has been disarmed by people who have infiltrated the church, telling you that magic is bad, right? They disarm you. They disarm, and they want us to be helpless because they know it's real. They know where it comes from. They utilize it against us and against their victims on a regular basis. So it's not evil. It's all a tool and how you use it. And it's a gift from God. So learn how to use it. Ancient Christian magicians like Solomon, like Moses, they knew how to use it against their enemies and how to defend themselves and their people. And the church in the show is the same way as the church in real life, condemning practices, spiritual awareness, condemning it, trying to blind themselves and their followers to make them susceptible to the forces of darkness.
So I just wanted to say that there's two types of like horror movies. There's the paranormal horror movies, right? With all the ghosts and the demons and the possession and all that stuff. And then there's the serial killer Dahmer stuff, and or like The Hills Have Eyes, stuff like that. I can't handle those types of movies. And the reason why I can't handle them is because they're real people and it's scary. Like like I said, there's no way to fight off a real person
I mean, there is a way, but
legally.
legally,
What I'm saying is you can't protect yourself psychically from these things. I mean, you could shield yourself, but like you can't banish them.
no, you can't.
You can only do so much, but they have free will. So if they want to mess you up, they can. And
You have to be able to defend yourself.
yeah, but I can handle, send me a paranormal or possession movie any day. I'm good because that doesn't scare me. I have fought my share of demons and entities, and it doesn't scare me. They have no authority over me. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Cult Pop.
Yep. So go check out the show Evil, and we'd love to hear your opinion on it. If you've seen episodes of the show or you watched all 4 seasons, I wish it was 5. It was a really good show. But yeah, let us know what you think about the show and how it conveys topics that we covered. We'd love to hear your opinion.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Occult Pop.
And if you want us to talk about a specific TV show or movie,
let us know.
Let us know. Yeah. Let us
Something
know.
you want to, as long as it's in an occult vein, we'll try to cover it. We got a request for Stranger Things, which I haven't seen.
I haven't seen it either.
I know. Apparently, everyone in the horror community's seen it except for me.
I watched the first season and that was cool. And then I started watching the second one and I was like, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I was like, doesn't hit as good as the first season. So I just stopped watching it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I haven't seen it at all. So I'll probably have to check that out when I get some time. Well, thank you for joining us. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe because it really helps to grow the channel and we get more of a dialogue going. Thanks for joining us, fam.
See you next time.